Pennies Going in Raw is a production of iHeartRadio. The opinions expressed in the following podcast are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security or investment product. It is only intended to provide education and entertainment about the financial industry and the stock market. Enjoy!
On this episode of Pennies Going in Raw, we go into FTX, this week in the market, blue check marks, and much more.
You find out life's this game of pennies.
Oh, you guys know we only have a 40% runner. Hello? 40% is a fucking killing.
We've been compliant for too long. It's time we go to war.
I don't have a Roth.
Hugh knows so much about the market that his brain doesn't have enough room for grammar.
Hey, who told me about IDEX? It's going up a shit ton now.
Rob, 4%, baby. No way. 4 fucking percent.
You asked the exact same question with 2 words different.
It's like, man, I just got dick whipped for like 20%, and now that f***er's up like 50.
I bet Warren Buffett never did that.
I'm just making this voice memo to call out unusual whales to a fight.
The pennies we need are everywhere around us.
Pennies.
Going in Raw.
Featuring Dan, Dia Dips, and Hugh Honey.
Produced by Vinny.
And Christian.
Let's go, baby.
Welcome back to another episode of Pennies Going in Raw. Today is Wednesday, November the 16th, and just came out a few hours ago. I guess around noon today, Russia shot some missiles, and they landed in Poland. A little bit ago, it got confirmed that they were Russian missiles and not Ukraine, like using them to like blast them down or whatever. And somehow markets stayed green, which is honestly impressive. So what were your thoughts on that? Like, I mean, we were approaching 400. I think we would have hit it without that, or stayed above it. But what are your thoughts on, all that?
Yeah, no, that is freaking wild. So it ended up killing 2. And for anyone that doesn't know, Poland is a NATO nation. For anyone that doesn't know, NATO is, all the big dogs. And it's one of those, like, you mess with one of the homies inside the recess yard, you mess with all the homies. And, a ton of NATO countries have come out and said that basically any part of NATO, any part of NATO that is touched, they'll defend, every inch of NATO. So,
and there's the Article 5, which is if you do get attacked in NATO, it is, and you can decide, let me look up what exactly it is so we don't get called out on this. Article 5 NATO. If a NATO ally is a victim of an armed attack, each and every other member of the alliance will consider this an act of war.
Yeah, no, it's like it's real serious shit. Which, honestly, it's one of those things where you really hope that Russia comes out and is like, yo, my bad. Of course that's probably a real far stretch. But you really want this to not escalate. And I mean that in it in the fact that even if Russia wanted to shoot at Poland, which again, I don't think that they did. They only killed 2. I feel like if they really wanted to escalate things, they would really try and make something, big happen. However, what I will say is that it is one of those situations where it could quickly escalate the war, because again, is that if you have Russia and Ukraine, that's one thing. But when you attack NATO, you're basically attacking 30 countries. What is it? 30 countries? Yeah, 28 countries. 28 European countries, and then 2 non-European countries. So yeah. Okay, 30 members of NATO. So that's fucking scary, because that's a lot.
I mean, it's gonna definitely be important to see, what their first official response is, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, obviously, you want to the level-headed people are gonna hopefully win out. I mean, no one wants World War III, but this is definitely going to be interesting to see how it plays out, because I mean, it just depends on how Poland reacts, how NATO reacts. I mean, I've always wondered what do you do if you accidentally send a missile that does this? Or let's say you saw a commercial flight come in, we accidentally shoot a missile and destroy it, and it was coming from Australia. Like, how do we say, and it like didn't come up on our air traffic radar, like how do we say oopsie daisies? Like, we didn't mean to, but we understand this is a huge mistake. Like, how do you pay for that many human lives? Even though in this case it was just 2, although 2 too many. But at the same time, it's like, how can a country making a wild act or even a defensive act say oopsie daisies, we fucked up your shit? Like,
yeah, I'm also looking at the damage that was done in Poland, and I mean, like it's ridiculous. Also, again, I'm kind of going down the rabbit hole here, but it is interesting that that there is a connection here. And again, I'm not necessarily I'm not swaying one way or the other. I'm just reading aloud here that the Ukraine weapons tracker on Twitter tweeted out something 2 hours ago and said, "So what crashed in the village of?" I'm honestly not even gonna try that, of Poland today, with the cooperation of Blue Boy 1969, who is a big artillery guy. We analyzed the available photos of the fragment and came to a clear conclusion that they belong to the 48D6 motor of the the 5. Exactly. Yeah. Which is from Ukraine. And so they have pictures side by side.
I looked those up. Within around like 45 minutes ago, Polish officials came out that it was Russian missile, not Ukraine.
Yeah.
From my understanding. Again, this is like 40 minutes ago because I did want to verify that.
Yeah. Well, so that's what I'm just looking at here. Look, I just sent it to you. I'm just looking at this. And again, I'm not choosing one way or the other, obviously. I'm just saying that that this is what and this is gaining quite a lot of traction, this tweet. And but either way, it truly doesn't matter if it's Ukraine or Russian missile. The point of this is that I just hope that this can kind of be something where it's like, hey, sorry, we went out of bounds. We're not gonna do that again. No matter who it is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you even?
I mean, that's what I would love. Like, if it was just like, oops, sorry. And again,
like, where do you go?
Any loss of life is terrible, and justice should be done. But I will say that I really hope that this doesn't lead to something larger, because again, is that it'll then turn into more than just 2 lives lost.
Yeah, no, it's like if you're a Polish official, how do you decide between like, hey, if we do commit to retaliation, we know we're going to lose more than 2 Polish people. However, at least we get to get back at the bully.
Also, we sent Ukraine another $37 billion in supplies today. That feels like a lot. Like, it feels like we're sending, like, again, I understand that, like I'm all for David and Goliath and making sure that, Russia is put down, or at least, one Russian is put down. But it feels like we're contributing a lot to this Ukraine side. Again, we obviously, I don't agree that we should be contributing anything to Russia, but today alone, we contributed another $37 billion to Ukraine, which, 37.7 billion in Ukraine. That feels like a lot. No? Am I just crazy?
The 37 billion. I mean, it's a fucking war against Russia. Open up Google Maps and zoom out, dude. It seems like a pretty big task.
But we've sent. Okay, ready? So how much the U.S. is? Okay, so here we go. We have sent 12.5 billion, 9.4 billion, 9 billion, 7 billion, 6 billion, 4.7 billion, 1.8 billion, 1.5 billion, 1.1 billion, 0.9 billion, 0.5 billion, 0.3 billion, 21 billion, 31 billion, 37 billion. That feels like a again, I'm all for supporting them. But I'm just saying, like, it feels like we're so quick to, like, is Ukraine currently inside a dire situation to where if they need $37 billion, they will lose this war? Because to me, like, $37 billion could be used so many places. And I'm not saying that Ukraine's not the best place for it. I'm just saying that, like, we're really quick to just send money to Ukraine. And again, I'm all for, like, helping out Ukraine. However, I just counted and we've sent 16, 19, 20, 20, overall over $200 billion to Ukraine. It just feels like, if we gave like $5 billion to even the homeless, single mothers or fathers, I don't know. It just feels like $37 billion off the whim on a random Monday when it's not like it's not like Russia is taking over Ukraine and Ukraine is like on its back heels. Like Ukraine is doing from what I've read, not that bad.
Yeah, no, it seemed I have read the same. I mean, it's just hard to tell. I mean, how do you know exactly who's up? But I've read
like,
the
can't
same.
We just take a little bit and send it to like single mothers or fathers, or like the whole from what I read is that
I say we just stripe up some fucking American planes and shit with Ukraine flags, go over there, spend a couple weeks, do our thing, come back, dude. Easy peasy.
Me, you, and Verde trades.
No, it's definitely not going to be us or anyone that's not good at wartime.
I just feel like we could take like even the what is it, the Biden's college relief program. Listen, did I pay my way through college? Yes. Do I think that everybody should get college for free? No, but like $5,000-$10,000. I'm okay with like everybody getting $5,000-$10,000. Like if everybody got like $60,000, I might feel a little salty about it because I remember like busting my ass to pay my way through college. But my point to all this is that couldn't we take $5 billion and pay off like a lot of student debt, or couldn't we take $5 billion and like
no, dude, fuck paying off student debt, man.
Single mothers and fathers. Like what about that? Like
what about them?
like you know what I'm saying? Like cancer research. I mean you could literally name anything and I'd be like, yeah, dude, totally.
How about lower inflation, man? Fuck me.
Yeah, lower inflation. Like I don't know. It just feels like one of those things to where I get helping Ukraine.
Where can I donate money to lower inflation? Like I remember, there's some video games where it's like big online video games that'll have like, oh, everyone in the game can donate to either one side or the other. And, it takes everyone's work. How much are you willing to send? I'll send $20 right now to help end inflation. And I think if we had everyone do that, maybe we lower it 1% or 2%. What are your thoughts, dude?
Listen.
And then
I would do
inflation
anything.
tip jar.
I would do because when I look back to like my credit card used to be a few years ago, I would do anything to have to have my credit card what it was a few years ago. I just really wish that, yeah, I mean, lowering inflation would be huge. Which that brings me to the next thing.
Okay.
I'm happy that PPI and CPI were lower than expected. However, if I didn't make myself clear on the last podcast, there's no reason to do a victory lap yet. Inflation is still at 7%. So unless you are getting a 7% raise from your boss, you're losing money this year for doing absolutely nothing. And again, like that's just kind of like the harsh reality of hey, you know what? If you're not getting a 7% raise, and again, you got to remember, inflation was up to 8.6. So if you weren't getting an 8.6% raise last year, or into this year, then you were not going to come out of this year with the same amount of money as last year. That's like the hard truth. And that to me is like I'm all for, I'm happy that it was lower than expected. But what the fuck? Like, it's still 7%. Like 7% is like, think about this, ready? $100,000. If you make $100,000 per year, last year when you made $100,000, you made $100,000. This year, you made 92,500. That's fucking crazy. That's
The
like a
dip in the
used
account, dude.
Honda Accord. Like I get the whole victory lap, like, oh, we're lower than expected, we're making progress. But how the hell did this happen to begin with? Like, take the $1,500 checks. Like, I don't give a shit about those. All right, the $1,500 checks to everybody should not make like a $7,000 difference minimum inside everybody's wallet. That's not how it's supposed to work. Oh, I don't know. I'm just kind of fired up tonight. I'm just kind of pissed. I don't know. I'm just kind of bothered by everything going on. You know, it just really feels like we had COVID. Everybody was giving $1,500, and now, you know, it was like, oh, $1,500, like the government's being nice, great. And instead of being given $1,500, you know, now it's costing us like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 per family. Like, how the fuck does that math? Like, that math doesn't math.
That math is not mathing, man.
No, that math is mathing. And it just kind of bothered me. And then it's like, you know, and again, I'm all for Ukraine, but then it's like they get $37 billion on a random Monday night. And then I look through some of the documents about like,
When you look on Twitter, they are pretty like the owner of a GoFundMe. This sounds rude. Like 2020 hindsight, we could sound like douchebags. However, you know how the people on GoFundMe, they'll hit their thing, but like, you know what? 50,000 is not enough. We need 75,000.
Yeah.
All the responses are, you know, but I mean, they really do have like most of their civilians and shit like at war. Like, I mean, they're in ditches.
Listen, I am all for that. Okay, and like I said, is that I am a full supporter of Ukraine, full supporter. And if it was just $30 billion, I'd be like, yeah, totally. But when we're getting to almost $250 billion inside funding, holy shit! Like, that's a lot. That is a lot. And my only part is that like it kind of goes back to like it kind of goes back to like some of the other wars that we've fought inside, you know, our American history. And again, we're not fighting this Ukraine war, but it's just one of those things where like we stick our nose sometimes. It feels like we stick our nose into places like it necessarily doesn't need to be stuck. I guess that's kind of where I'm at. You know, like what if we took that, you know, $37 billion. I'm not saying like, let's take all the money that we gave to Ukraine. I'm just saying, you know, or all the resources we gave to Ukraine. But I'm just saying, you know, what if we took let's just take $37 billion from tonight. If we took the $37 billion and we gave that to single mothers, or we gave that to everybody on disability, or we gave that to, you know, to relieve college aid. Like, it just feels like we stick our nose sometimes so far deep other places when it's like, yo, like we got people struggling on the home front. I don't know. I'm just getting kind of like pissed about some of this shit. Oh, excuse me. I'm cursing a lot tonight. My mother's going to be unhappy about that. But, you know, it's just one of those things where, you know, like we're giving a $1,500 check. You're like, oh, great. And then now, like 2 years later, it's costing us, I don't know, $7,000. Like, why would I want this $1,500 check? Like, I don't want that. So I don't know. There's my rant. That's it. That we're done. We're done. Oh, and then on top of that, my 401k is down. Fucking the schlooper. Come on. That's it. I'm done. That's all I got on this rant.
Kind of moving on. One thing, can you hear me?
Yeah.
One thing we kind of wanted to talk about was well, obviously, is the market. We haven't really touched on it much, but, you know, we haven't really hit the 400 mark. Or, well, we did, and then all the World War III shit came out. But, I mean, big moves. Big moves. We're at a pretty important spot. What are your levels saying? And do you kind of want to dive into that?
I like that. Yeah. So, first things first is that, you know, the poll and Newsday really gave us like a pretty quick, you know, flush down. And I'll say right now, our range is pretty much 395.50 to 402. Anywhere in there, to me, it really doesn't mean too much. But I will say this. I'd be real hesitant here of like trying to catch this long. You know, we went over it a few times. October 23rd. Okay, so less than a month. We have gone from 362 to 398. So we're up, about 10%, give or take. Yeah, that's not really indicative of a bull market. That's more of a indicative of like a bear market rally. And that's one of those things where I kind of get worrisome because I'm not saying that I'm not even gonna guess if bottom is in or not. I would never really kind of go down that path. But the thing that I will say is that a bear market rally is typically one of these kind of moves where it's like quick, it's fast, it's furious, all the way to the upside. And then we typically make a new low at some point. And that's kind of where we're headed right now. And I don't really know what would be the catalyst to bring us lower. But I will say this is that the fact that, and this goes back to our earlier conversation, inflation is still at 7%. Like there's really no point to kind of, have a lap around, in a celebratory fashion when we are still at 7%. And the other thing is that the fact that the market is pricing a 0% chance for 75 basis points raise, it kind of feels like bullshit to me. We still need to raise rates aggressively. Like, if anything, all this little lower CPI, this lower CPI print, all this does for me is tell me that, hey, what the Fed is doing is working. Is it the timeline that we wanted? Hell no. The Fed wanted to be at like 3% by now. So no, it's not. That's not happening. But it is telling me that to a certain degree it is working. And so for me, why would you let your gas up? Why would you let your pedal off of the gas? There she is. And
pedal off the metal.
Yeah, pedal off the metal. And so to me, that kind of worries me, that the fact that the market is pricing 0% chance for 75 basis points. Because if it is 75 basis points and we're expecting it's 0% chance, that's the type of situation where I could see a halt down. Because again, we're not expecting that. But why aren't we expecting it? Like this is where I kind of get confused with the market, because it's like, shouldn't we be expecting a continuous of 75 basis points? Because what we're seeing is working, but we're not there yet. So why is it priced at 0%? These are like the questions that we have to ask, because if it were priced at 50%, then it's like, okay, that makes sense to me, because we've done a continuous amount of 75 basis points raises, and we're now starting to see it work. But the fact that it's at 0%. And we're not at below 4%. Like, hell, we're not even close to 4% inflation. And again, 4% inflation is still double where we want it. So the fact that it's like, hey, we're at 7% inflation and there's 0% chance we're going to raise 75 basis points when all we've been doing is raising 75 basis points, that feels a little bullshitty to me. And one of the situations where, where we could halt down if we do raise 75 basis points. Because again, I'm just trying to look for like certain scenarios and looking forward and looking ahead. And again, is that, the fact that we're not raising, or the fact that we're supposedly not raising 75 basis points and there's 0% chance of that, that doesn't feel right to me personally.
All right. Well, the next thing you wanted to kind of chat on was FTX. I know a lot of people listening, probably the first time you're hearing about it, or maybe you've seen it, but haven't really dove in or looked at what it is. And it's, it's just one of those things that can be confusing if you haven't really looked into it too much. Do you kind of want to explain the basics of it and then explain like the controversies?
Yes. So as we talked about last episode, we had our boy Sam Fried, which I'll tell you this, him and I were nominated together for a 30 for 30 or 30 under 30 together. At the time, I really hadn't known who he was. And I was like, well, that's sick. He's got like $1 billion for every year that he's been alive, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, and I'll tell you what, and at the time I was like, man, I wish I was that guy. Now I don't wish I was that guy. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. So a few things to note about this since our last conversation about this. First off, this dude is freaking weird, and his profile picture looks nothing like him.
Catfish.
Yeah. So he goes to Argentina. Okay, on his private jet.
That's
and then
where all bad decisions start.
Yeah. And his in the United States requested that he comes back for questioning because again, he was using customer funds for reasons that they weren't supposed to be used for. Very liquid ass. And then he tweets out yesterday or 2 days ago, I guess, and he tweets out number 1, what, and then 2, H, 3A, 4P, 5P, E, or 6E, 7N, 8E, 9D. And so if you need help, that's what happened.
Oh, that's Elon's kid's name.
Really?
No, the one where how he has the one.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you got me for a second. And then they said 10, not legal advice, not financial advice. This is all as I remember, but my memory might be faulty in parts. 11, I'll get to what happened, but for now, let's talk about where we are today. 12, to the best of my knowledge, and so this is 7 hours ago. To the best of my knowledge, as of 11/7, with the potential of errors, one, Alameda, had more assets than liabilities, but not liquid. That's not how that works. I'll tell you right now, that is not how that works. B, Alameda had margin position on FTX International. Okay, so again, more liabilities than assets. C, FTX US had enough to repay all customers. That's bullshit. Okay, I saw their I've heard about their balance sheet. That's not true. 12, to the best of my not everyone necessarily agrees with this. Yeah, me. I'm the fucker that respectfully, I'm the one that doesn't agree with this. There's no way. That's not how any of this works. That is not how any of this works. That it's just not. It's not how that's not how this works. 13, my one goal is to do right by customers. Then guess what, brother? You wouldn't have taken your customers' money and invested it inside the speculative, unregulated shit. It's not how this works, you little scam artist. This is the biggest fraud case in history. This is double the size of Enron.
Okay, as a new Houston native, Enron is. I don't really think they did much wrong, but continue. If you don't know what you're talking about,
that's
just
incredible.
Just say it. You're ignorant.
I'm not even gonna go down that path.
Those documentaries are fake news. So.
Yeah, you're right. 13. So I'm contributing what I can to doing so. I'm meeting in person with regulators and working with the teams to do what I can for customers. And after that, investors, but first customers. You little shit. So this is the thing, is that the reason that I think that he's truly screwed is because of the company that he rolled with.
What's the Nokia guy doing? He's still out.
Is it SBF? It wasn't he not only took people's money and then lost it. We're talking his employees, freaking ex-presidents. We're talking some of the most powerful people inside the world. We're talking tons of celebrities. It's there's rumor that Giselle and Tom Brady are going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well, at least they're divorced now. So.
Oh yeah, she sucks too. Did you see she's with another man?
Yeah, I mean, she made so much money. That's why Tom Brady was able to take so many, contracts that are so cheap. I mean, you could attribute a lot of his success to Gazelle.
No, it doesn't matter. She's with her taekwondo instructor. She sucks. Respectfully.
Yeah, true. I did see that. But you gotta appreciate the fact he's so committed to the game.
No, I'm with Tom, bro. I would play forever now. I'd play forever now. I'd play till I'm fucking 70. I would be taking tea. I would be taking. I'd tell Roger Goodell. I'd be like, yo, listen, brother. She's with her taekwondo instructor. I gotta play till I'm 70 now. That's how I would be.
I saw this meme because you know how his bio on Twitter is family and football.
Yeah.
I saw it after the divorce thing came out. It was just football.
And then, so then SBF, his number 14 was my goal. Clean up and focus on transparency, A, and then B, make customers whole. Good fucking luck, brother. Bloomberg has your net worth as $1 to $3. You're toast. Just honestly, at this point, his options are A, go on the run, or B, go to jail. Like
I
again,
don't know. I think this all comes back to the oopsie daisies thing.
also, I was watching videos, so I never. So, like I said, until my 30 under 30, I really hadn't even heard of this guy, and then I certainly hadn't heard of his little girlfriend Caroline.
Hey, dude, on the bright side, I mean, I know your sports dreams didn't work out, so you couldn't get a 34-30, but at least you got a 30 under 30.
That's true.
Arguably cooler.
That is true. I'll tell you this: that Caroline girl, wow, she. You want to talk about somebody that really irks me the wrong way? This Caroline Capital girl really irks me the wrong way. So arrogant. Like I had never seen or heard of her until all this debacle came out, and
fucking nobody.
Well, so she's the CEO or whatever, and she was apparently Sam's girlfriend. I watched an interview with her. I genuinely was like, oh man, like this girl, she really pisses me off. She was like, well, we don't use stop losses because that could potentially be fighting liquidity. And I was like, goodbye. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, if you use stop losses, you wouldn't be inside this predicament. There, sweet girl.
Yeah, 2020 hindsight must be nice, dude. I'm with her.
Yeah, no. So because she's so arrogant about it, like so arrogant, and it really,
She hot?
Do you want to see what she looks like?
Kinda.
Hang on. Look inside the chat.
Yeah, no, I'm taking that.
You didn't even see it yet. You see it?
Yeah, again, dude. See, I didn't have to see it to know that I'm taking that most days of the week. And she looks a little nerdy, dude. I don't know, man. I think I think she's got potential, man. And
you should have heard the way that she talked, like so arrogantly. It really pissed me off. Like, you use stop losses. No shit. That's clear. I don't know.
All
There's
right,
just
man.
something
Well,
that really.
Let's not talk about my girl like that, please.
There's something really irks me off about them too.
Between them and Enron, dude, you've really been crossing the line today.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because Enron. Don't get me started on that. We could do a whole episode on Enron.
Yeah, there's enough fake news about it already. Okay,
Fake
so
news.
couple last things. Yeah, dude. Couple last things. Two things we haven't really got to chat about since it came about. Elon did add the blue checks, $8. And it sucks, man. I lost the only thing that really separated me from you nerds that let me know that I was better than y'all. So yeah, showing girls a blue check mark at a bar went from 2%, relatively respectable success rate, to harassment charge. And it's not cool, dude. What do you think about it? I mean,
I just don't like. If it was one of those things where the $8 a month would,
I want to feel special. I want to feel special, man.
I don't give a shit about feeling special. I feel special every day. All right, I get to wake up and record with Dano every day. Or some days, but it's what
every now and then.
Yeah, every now and then. But I don't care about feeling special. All I want is I don't want to deal with the fake bots. And I don't feel like the $8 really solves that problem. In fact, there's more fake Hugh Hennies on Twitter right now than there has been inside the previous 2.5 years. So really, what does that do for me? And now I'm just out $8 every month. The fuck?
You don't have to pay the $8.
I don't know. I'm fired up today. I'm just fired up today.
I still have mine, and I haven't paid the $8.
I haven't paid the $8 either, but there's still now there's fake Hugh Hennies buying the $8 bullshit. Respectfully.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know why some people get the official thing and some don't. But
we get the official thing.
Not yet. Some people have it.
My thing says because I'm important or government.
Oh
official.
yeah, no, I know it says that, but there's a gray thing that says official. Circle.
Well, that's because they stopped doing that.
No, but it's on some, dude. Trust me, dude. I look up so much bullshit on the internet machine.
Hey, what's up, team?
Okay, but lastly, we made a couple bets a week ago or so. You lost them both. You lost both of them.
Oh, I gotta Venmo you this, don't I?
I'm banned from Venmo.
Okay, send you. I'll include it inside your payment check.
So it is. We did bet $15,000. It was $10,000 on the Astros winning the World Series and $5,000 on my Houston Texans covering a spread. So you're gonna include that 15 grand in there?
Yes. Also, as we're talking,
I just want everyone to know that was recorded. He did agree to.
Well, I did not agree to 15 grand.
Hey,
There's
Vinny.
no shot in
Vinny.
the world. There's maybe $100.
Vinny or Christian.
There's no
Vinny or
shot
Christian.
in the world that I agreed to anything with a K at the end.
Vinny or Christian, please. You saw him agree to it. I asked him twice. He said yes. So I want you to pull that up.
Literally no
Play it
shot
again.
in the
Play it
world.
again in slow-mo. So you're gonna include that 15 grand in there?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Hey,
Let people hear that.
Vinny and Christian, if there's just no shot. There's just no shot.
That's so dope, dude. I'm glad my commission check for the past 2 episodes has gone up from 80,000 to 95. So I'm looking forward to getting that check in the mail.
Goodbye.
So what? You said something else happened while you were committing to giving me 15 grand?
The 15. It wasn't 15. I'm done. Whatever. I got a notification that president, or I guess it's supposed to say former president. I don't know. What is he? Former president Donald J. Trump makes a special
that's the current
announcement.
president.
He's about to make an announcement.
Oh, he's coming back to Twitter.
He's gonna announce this 2024.
That'd be cool. I mean, dude, politics have not been as cool since Trump.
Shit, the market hasn't been. That's for damn sure. All right.
Okay, yeah. All right, guys, we love you. Have a good trading week. Best of luck. Stay strong. And let's hope the draft doesn't come out, because I've seen our demographics, and guess what? 88% of you motherfuckers are all eligible. So pray for the best. Peace, boys.
Pennies Going in Raw is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.